Hi, and welcome back to Good Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody that doesn't feel good enough for the person that they think about every day. We have, I remember every detail from that day, and we both know I am not the one for you. So they might have some, obviously there's some insecurity here, but there's also some specific element they feel they cannot deliver on in terms of a relationship here. And that makes them feel like they have to kind of exclude themselves from this relationship in order to avoid like the inevitable, right? Hi there, Miss Joanna. Hello, Jimmy. How are you both doing? Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I think we're going to dive right in with the Fairy Lenormand and see what else we have about this, I don't know, feeling of not necessarily being good enough. We have number 27, the envelope, and number 15, which is the bear. So there's some holding back with regards to communication. This is absolutely a no contact situation or low contact. We've got somebody that is feeling pressure to communicate, but not really knowing how to do so. Hi there, Tiana. How are you? So hesitation is definitely a big part of how this person's feeling because they don't know if there's like a good outcome to shoot for or if it's just kind of folly, right? Hello there, Christina. How are you doing? We've got the Star in reverse. This is the Pulp Tarot, my current favorite. Although I haven't blessed it yet, so I can't bring it out quite yet. I did get a new deck from Ms. Tiana. Thank you, Tiana. The Nightmare Before Christmas. So that'll be in tomorrow's reading. But we've got the Five of Cups, Seven of Cups. Yeah, this person thinks about one particular situation over and over again and thinks about how they could have done it differently. It's like Groundhog Day in this person's brain. They just cycle through the day that shit hit the fan, consider how they could have handled it differently, done something differently, said something differently. And it keeps them in a state of kind of like agitation almost. It's a struggle for this person to be consistently positive or confident because it's like they fumbled something that they feel would have been really important, but they're just kind of used to messing up. We have the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles. So this person feels like they were putting in the work to be a better person or address perceived shortcomings. I do feel like they have some measure of self-awareness here, but they did something to set themselves back or to kind of almost like justify what they saw as like an inevitable issue, right? Like, if I'm going to mess up anyways, it's probably going to be this way. They could have stopped it, is what I'm trying to say. Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Strength in the reverse. They declined some assistance or they didn't follow some advice that they knew was actually pretty legit and instead fell into like the trap or the habit that they had for a long time, which kind of feels a little bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I feel like this person doesn't want to be honest about how capable they are because they're kind of like frozen in fear because they expect failure. King of Cups in the reverse, Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah. I don't chase what I want, or I don't invest in the things that I want because I feel like I'll just inevitably lose them anyways. So it's like anxiety to the extreme, or manifesting like the nightmares, right? Five of Wands in the reverse, Ten of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, this is a very like individual battle. This is somebody that struggles to understand their own decisions or their own behavior at times. So there could be, for some of you, this person has some issues with drinking or substances of some sort, maybe even just like too much caffeine. There's something here that really kind of sets them off in terms of like inner conflict and kind of circling around the same subject matter over and over again. Hello there. Is it Samina? Welcome, welcome. Keeping them in kind of a almost like depressive or self-doubt kind of state of mind. We have the Fool and the Three of Swords. They expect this heartbreak. So even though they convince themselves they're running away from the things that would hurt them or the people that would hurt them, they somehow end up in the same situation with a different person, a different home, a different job. Queen of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. So there's like some unhealed trauma here. I feel like this is from childhood, and this person has found an unhealthy way to address this trauma or emotional distress and have kind of evaded the proper methods of getting through something like trauma. And it creates this cycle where they do initially want to make some changes that are positive, but something freezes them at some point and they fall back into the same behavior or the same situations, and almost kind of like being right about things being crappy. So this could be somebody that quite often talks about the difficulty they're going through, possibly for attention. We have TikTok, deadline, crickets in the reverse. So that would be silence or non-action in the reverse. And then nightlife in the reverse. I'm drawn to the take a risk part on this card. So there's a specific action this person needs to take that they have been procrastinating on. And there's a timeline in which they have to take this action. And if they don't, they miss something. It's like in my mind, I'm seeing, you know, like a DVD playing and you hit the next button and it skips, you know, basically unpredictable amount of time ahead. And you have to figure out, you know, how much you've missed, if you need to go back, blah, blah, blah. This person feels like they can't get to that point, that they have basically gotten caught in this loop and they'll never get to the point where that next chapter starts, if that makes sense. So they're hesitant to take a risk because at the end of the day, they don't really believe that things will work out the way they want them to. And to that person, I would say be careful on what you let your mind focus, because we are much more powerful than most people realize, and you can manifest things. Manifestation is essentially prayer. When you focus on things, you bring them to you, right? This person needs to focus on positive things and actually imagine where they would like to end up, as opposed to making it appear to be always at a distance. We do have communication, though. Look at how similar this is. So there's a message that is likely the action this person needs to take. Like, yes, things are difficult. Yes, there was something in the past that was not ideal. But I feel like there's something that has given a little bit of a confidence boost to this person, perhaps a new job, perhaps some sort of financial break. And that might be the universe's last attempt to say, hey, are you gonna do something, or what's up? Hey, Mountain Girl, how are you doing? No way, Jimmy. Oh, that's really rough. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he finds a way out of that. Let's use the Morgan Greer and see what else we have. Six of Wands in the reverse, Three of Swords in the reverse. So we've got basically a failure to address what needs to be healed, right? Somebody who keeps trying to figure out how to walk before their bones have healed, or yeah, we'll just stick with that one. You got to deal with something here before things change, but they keep trying to distract themselves or ignore that that's a problem. Like a pot overboiling, but you're too busy like chopping up the vegetables. Well, that's great, but that water is going to become more and more of an issue, especially if there's something more than just water in there, right? We've got Justice in the reverse, Page of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, there's just a sense of immaturity here. Doing something without thinking, taking a path that you knew better, like you knew how that was going to end, but you did it anyways. Four of Wands in the reverse, Knight of Pentacles, and the Lovers in the reverse. So this person has had a lot of issues with regards to relationships. They tend to choose relationships that have chaos or instability, lots of arguing, and perhaps infidelity. But this person is being kind of like forced to look at their decisions and the impacts of them. Like in my mind, I'm seeing Scrooge and his visit to the past, or visits. This person has had some sort of in their face kind of demonstration or recollection of how things went bad and how they could have changed that outcome, or they could have managed that situation better. And being called out, basically saying you choose the wrong path in kind of a selfish way, right? What can I do so that I can get somebody else to help me? What can I do to be, a little bit outside of the lines so that I can justify what's going on in my life? There's not a lot of accountability here. And I feel like a lot of that stems from this trauma. I do feel like the trauma is a family situation, and this created some codependency. There could be a fear of abandonment here. There could be clinging to codependent or toxic relationships because of like trauma bonding. But there's something that this person learned early on that kind of makes them cling to people. Because they do want to have somebody to kind of like complain to or ask to help them. 10 of Cups in the reverse, 7 of Swords in the reverse. Knight of Rods. So now we have a situation where proximity is no longer in favor of this couple or these two individuals. They don't have to be romantic. It does feel like for the majority of you this is, but this could be like a close friend that maybe had a tendency to be a little bit difficult to trust. This person is having to look at the truth of the situation and probably also the truth of their own character because of some departure here. You have cut them off, you have stopped talking to them, you have moved away. There's something here about you being less accessible to them, and they're realizing that they can't really use the same tactics anymore. You've changed something. So it's like you changed the password and they can't access, your apartment, your house, your car, whatever it is. They don't feel like they can do what they used to do. You've changed something. All right, let's go with the Santa Muerte deck. King of Pentacles in the reverse. 10 of Swords in the reverse. 7 of Swords. So we just had the 7 of Swords in the reverse here. Yeah, there was a few lies. I think it was like 3 to 4 things that really stand out. Important things that somebody was lying about or refused to be honest about, maybe just straight up omitted. And it had to do with either this person's finances or their ability to defend or be loyal to you. And when caught up in, the chaos of their own actions, this person would generally deny that they were culpable or that their actions directly led to that consequence. They didn't really want to be, blamed, even though they tend to create their own tornadoes. We have the 6 of Cups. Seven of Wands. This, for me, has trauma bond like all over it. Like we had some space together where we were, us versus the world or versus them of some sort. And it's hard to get away from that, but somebody did, because it's clarifying our 10 of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, there was a decision made and somebody departed, left, went somewhere else. Didn't want to give somebody else the option anymore. Be a choice. It's like I see something being removed, like a pentacle that was offered, or, a heart that was extended to somebody being like taken back. Like, sorry, this ain't it. I'm going to pack up my things and go. Hi there, Patrick. How are you doing? Thank you, Miss Joanna. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. All right, so we have 8 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Santa Muerte, which is the Death card, in the reverse. So there was considerable effort here, maybe even a little bit of a charade. I feel like somebody was trying to justify their actions, their behavior, their bad mood. And at the end of the day, the person they're explaining this to just looks at them and says, all of those things that you just mentioned as justifications for your behavior are external and things that you could have controlled, or things that didn't warrant the kind of reaction that you gave me. So it feels like you're just trying to sidestep or not have to deal with consequences or accountability for what you did to bring that about, or how you chose to just disregard a rule or some sort of boundary, an opportunity to defend somebody declined. There's no justification for the behavior, and that's what catches this person off guard or makes it difficult for them to, control the narrative. We have the Two of Swords and the Tower in the reverse. You can't have it both ways. Somebody was unable to say, I did that knowing it was wrong, but I swear I didn't mean to. Not wanting to lose something, being a little bit too close to the fire here has taken something away from somebody. They got a little too grabby, they got a little too cocky, they got a little bit too, what's the word? Complacent. And so the universe was like, okay, that's not yours. You aren't ready for that. All right, so we have the Nine of Cups and the World. So the thing is, there's an end to the chapter between these two individuals. And remember, we had sudden wealth over here. Now we have Nine of Cups and the World. This is like a good ending. Like, everything having happened for a reason, and somebody getting like a reward, or getting, it's like coming across to me as like icing on the cake. Maybe the cake was a little bit not your favorite kind, but the frosting is going to be your favorite, right? Like, there's something here that is a learning situation that taught you how to best move forward with something different. So you learned about yourself and you learned about other people dealing with this person. And the universe wants you to look at it as, okay, I appreciate that time. I appreciate, that we had good times and that I'm a better person for having met you, but I'm going to hang out over here while you hang out over there. Like, I appreciate it, but it's not for me. All right. Let's get just a couple more. This is the signs of the times. So we have number 4, yin yang balance. And we have number 40, bullseye or focus. So when you have established this balance in your life, and I feel like that's very soon, if not already established, then you'll feel things click into place. It's like if you've gone a little bit too long between oil changes and you finally go get an oil change, you'll feel a difference when you're driving your car after the oil change. You're going to feel a difference in terms of how your life is being led or how things work for you. It's going to feel more natural or like a little bit easier. And a lot of that is because you have redirected your focus and prioritize the balance in your life. You don't want to deal with people that have chaotic energy. You want to be, hanging out with people that view the world basically the same way as you, right? I mean, variety is the spice of life. Let's teach each other things, right? We don't need to be homogenous, but at the same time, it helps when you have the same world perspective to a degree, right? Like boiled down to something. Are you coming from a place of love or hate, right? That kind of thing. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for the likes and the subscribes. Love you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next reading.